If right now you're losing out on sales because when you get to the end, they throw you an objection about the money and they're fearful about moving forward, then this YouTube video is going to be for you. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Christian Polk. I've been in the online sales business for 4 years. I sold over $6 million in sales. I've sold anywhere from B2B SaaS, lead generation, different type of coaching offers, B2B, B2C. And for the past 2 years, I've been with Jeremy Miner in 7th Level, where I've also been a sales coach and I've helped thousands of clients in hundreds of different industries ask better questions, make more sales, overcome objections, all that fun stuff. And something that's been coming up a lot lately, especially for my one-on-one clients, is how to overcome the money fear objection. Because this one's an interesting one. The big problem that most people fall into is when they get a money fear objection, they treat it like it's money logistical. Okay. And why this is not typically going to be the best route is because they're not going to be as truthful, as open, or as resourceful as they would actually need to be to get the resources together or allocate the resources. So it's going to be hard to find something like a payment plan, funding, all these different things, just because they're very fearful about the money. Okay. And a lot of this comes down to just understanding the language when we get to the objection handling side of the sales process. For example, something that's going to be purely logistical, you can hear in their language, they're trying to find out how they can make it work. But if they're saying things like, it's too expensive, or I don't have the money, I can't do this, behind each of those phrases is a belief, okay? And behind that belief, it needs to be reframed so that way they can focus on the real thing. Because what they're doing is they're focusing on the thing that's not going to help them the most, the money they put down, not the results that they can get. Okay, so when you get somebody who says, I don't have the money, I can't do it, it's too expensive, there's a couple steps, and I'll take you through actually how do we handle it, reframe the belief, and then also get to the logistics of it as well. Okay. So step number 1 is we need to diffuse. So they're giving out objections, we're objection handling, like it can be awkward. So the first thing we need to diffuse, let them understand like, oh, that's not an issue. Then from there, we need to clarify because it's too expensive. I don't have the money. What do they mean by that? I don't have the money. How do you mean it's too expensive? Like compared to what? So we need to clarify. Then from there, we need to isolate and get more buy-in. So we put it to the side, okay? Money aside, would you do it? Yes, we need to get the yes. If we didn't get the yes, then our discovery is just way off. Go back to go. Don't collect 200. Okay, so get the yes. Then from there, we ask them why. The reason we ask them why is we need leverage when we're overcoming objections. That why is the reason how you can help them actually overcome the objection for them. Because when you're overcoming objections, you don't do it because you need the sale. You do it because it's the best thing for them. So you fight for them. So money aside, would you do it? Yes. Why? Me personally, I like to ask that second why question. So let's say, for example, they're looking to lose weight. Okay. Money aside, would you do it? Yes, I would do it. Why would you do it though? Oh, I'd do it because I really feel like it would help me lose the weight. Yeah, but why actually invest in yourself so you can lose that weight? That second why oftentimes is going to be a lot more juicy, and then you have more leverage. Now, if you try to go straight into logistics, again, we haven't addressed the belief. So the next step is I'm going to ask them if I can share a perspective or make a suggestion. Then from there, depending on whether it's an ROI offer or a non-ROI offer, the two simplest ways to go about it, and there's tons of reframes when it comes to this, but the two simplest ways that work for me and work for the clients that I work with, okay, if it's an ROI offer, it's which is the problem, which is a symptom. And if it's a non-ROI offer, it's which is riskier. If you don't know what an ROI offer is, ROI is return on investment. So if you sell something that helps people make money, if you sell lead generation, if you sell business coaching, these things help people make more money, okay? So there's a return on investment. They make more than what they put in. A non-ROI offer is they don't make money with what you sell. Fitness is a perfect example of a non-ROI offer. They're not going to make more money from losing weight directly. Now, it might affect their work, but it's not a directly ROI offer, so you can't really use some of the same frames. So if we go through which is a problem and which is a solution, that's the one I like to use for if it's an ROI offer. So it'll sound a little something like this, okay? Like, would you do it? Yes. Why? Okay, but why actually invest in yourself so you can make more money in the business? Then can I make a suggestion? Which one is the problem and which one is the symptom? So I leave it vague like that for a reason, because what they're going to say is, how do you mean? Okay, because what happens in their mind is they're going to search back and they're going to try to find something to connect it to, but there's nothing there. And what that does is it creates doubt. And with that doubt, it makes them more suggestible to what you're about to say. Okay, so they're going to say, how do you mean? Well, if you had XYZ problem fixed, would you have that money problem? Let's say it's lead generation. If you had more high quality leads that you could close, would you have that money problem? The answer is going to be no. So, oh no, I wouldn't. So what's the actual problem then? Now, you need to get them to admit that the actual problem is they don't have what you're offering. They might hem and haw, but we need to get them to admit. The problem is I don't have the correct leads. I don't have the quality of leads. Okay. Once we get them to admit that, now we need to get them to actually focus on solving the actual problem rather than the symptom. So what I'll typically ask, like after they admit, like, yes, this is the actual problem. So are you willing to focus on solving the actual problem, the leads, rather than just focusing on the symptom? Okay, so then I need to get them to agree to focus on the actual problem rather than just a symptom. Then from there, you can always ask them, why would they? Typically, you don't need to, but we need to tie it off with a consequence. But what happens if you don't, though? You keep on focusing on the symptom and you never actually get those higher quality leads. Like, what happens to the business then? Okay, so we tie it off with a consequence. Now, let's say it's a non-ROI offer. We go to the what's riskier. For example, fitness. Would you do it? Yes. Why? But why actually invest in yourself so you can lose the weight? Can I share a perspective? What's riskier? Okay. What's riskier? You getting the funds together so that way you can lose the weight and you can, be that mom you want to be while you can play with your kids and be more energetic, or doing nothing about this and you, God forbid, you gain more weight. Like, which one's riskier? Oh, it would be riskier not to do something. Why is that? We need to get more tied down of like why it's actually riskier to not do anything. And then from there, we tie it off with consequence. Okay, but like, why is that? Oh, because like if I keep on doing this or that, then it's gonna lead to me gaining more weight. I just can't do that. But what would happen if that continued? Like, if you keep on doing what you're doing now, and God forbid you did gain more weight, like what happens then? So are you actually willing, or are you actually committed to actually solving this problem? Like, are you committed to solving this problem? Like, yes. And then once we tie it off, whether it's ROI or non-ROI, then we go into negotiation. Okay. Then from there, it's going to be really up to you of what you can do as a salesperson. If you have different payment plans, you can go down payment plans. You can go down different funding options, a deposit, and maybe they pay later. It's just really going to depend. The frame I typically like to use is, let's not focus on what you can't do. Let's focus on what you can do. Okay. Now, again, I am overcoming this objection for them. So it needs to come across that I'm here to help them. So I might be a little bit more direct, but it's because like I want to see them win. So it's like, so are you actually committed to solving the real problem? Okay. So then let's not focus on what we can't do, because we'll be here all day, respectfully. I want to see you win. I'm in your corner. So let's really focus on what you can do. So, what can you do to get whatever they want? Okay. Get a number from them, start to work with them. From there, it's going to be a lot more straightforward as far as starting to either payment plan, funding options, whatever it is. Now, if they're still fearful and they're still like hemming and hawing, you're having a hard time, okay, then you might need to go into another reframe, just addressing the fear rather than the money, okay? A really easy reframe that I like to use is called the ABCs of fear. So I did a video breakdown where I break down one of my calls that I use it. I'll put that in the description as well as the Miro board where I map all this out for you. But it's one, get them to admit that they're fearful. B, befriend the fear. And then C, we need to convert the fear into something else. Okay? Convert the fear into them taking action. So that's the ABCs of fear. And if you need help on like how to use that, again, watch that other video. So what we'll be getting into now is going to be a role play where I put all this together. So hopefully you find that helpful. If you enjoy this video or enjoy the role play I'm about to do, like, subscribe, leave in the comment section, your biggest takeaways. And if you want any help from me personally, just go ahead and message me on Facebook. Until next time. So we need to
I know there's
tie it
something
off.
missing.
Tie it off.
Tie it
Like
up.
the best way to tie it off is typically like through consequence
Ah,
and like
okay.
really doubling down on it. Do you want me to take you through?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So like, okay, next steps from here, just go ahead and take the initial 5,000 and then go ahead and get you set up for X, Y, and Z. Like would that be appropriate or how would you like to proceed?
Yeah, I mean, I usually take 24 hours to like think about it.
Okay, and that's not an issue. Just maybe so I can definitely send the best resources over to you. I guess like what do you feel like you really need to go over in your mind over the next 24 hours just to see if I can best help?
Like, I mean, it's a big investment, so I need to get my finances in order.
Yeah, no, and I can definitely appreciate that. But when you say like finances in order, like how do you mean specifically?
Yeah, I mean, I just need to see like if we can prioritize it. We have so many things going
Uh,
on.
no, no, I get it. Like if you just had like a duffel bag full of cash, just like good to go, right? Like, would you do it?
Yeah,
Why would you do it though?
because it would allow me to grow my business like I haven't been able in the last couple of years.
Yeah, but the big thing is like why actually invest in your business so it can grow?
Yeah, yeah, because it's either grow or die, and I don't want to die.
Yeah, yeah, that could be pretty tough for sure. Because like, which one's riskier at the end of the day? You staying doing exactly what you have been doing for the past couple years and not growing, or you being able to find the funds to invest into your business so you can actually get it to grow? Like, which one's riskier?
Yeah, stay where I am is riskier for sure.
Why is that?
Because then it's basically the equivalent of dying, and I'm more of
Yeah,
an ambitious person. I don't want to do
yeah,
that.
yeah. But I have to ask, what happens if we do stay where we're at and we do
Mm,
die? Like, what happens then?
yeah, no, I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, and like I'm not questioning your willingness on wanting it to happen, but we got to understand like that's what's been happening.
Mm.
So what happens if that continues?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the competitors might start growing and we'll run out of clients completely.
Yeah. So what would that look like for you running out of clients?
Well, I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah. Well, are you willing to allow that to happen?
No.
Okay. So who do you have to be? What do you have to do to make sure we stop dying and we start growing?
Mm. Yeah, I need to take a chance.
Do you see how like that's totally tied off right there?
It is.
It's because I like first asked to, like you can get like you got to that spot like oh like it's riskier to stay the same. Then it's
Yeah.
getting that consequence, not
Mm-hmm.
accepting any surface level consequence,
Mm-hmm.
double down on the consequence. What
Mm-hmm.
do you need to do?
Mm.
like any frame, like you can go through and like, and I know you have a few. Okay. So like you go
Mhm.
through them and then like we still need to ask the consequence, get them to double down and then get them to say like, I don't want to allow that to happen.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just sometimes like there's three objections in a
Yeah.
sequence. I'm like, okay, so which one? But I guess in that case, it's always the money, right?
Yeah. If a bunch of objections come up at once, it's money. Just
Hmm.
go down the money. 9 times out of 10, if you got three, you handle money, other ones go away. If they
Yeah.
don't, you handle those as well.
Hmm. Almost there.
Yeah. There's just a couple like small things like at the end, like in crunch time,
Mhm.
that like if you just make those small tweaks, um, it's just like not accepting surface level answers and then just really getting to a real consequence that's able to actually start to make that shift.
Okay. All right.
Okay, perfect. Does that help?
Yeah.